Everyone is welcome here, it's time to make new friends. Aquavide Uskava, fill your Glencairn. Share a dram with the spirit of Edmonton. Slancha!
Good evening, Whiskey Brothers, Whiskey Fisters, Whiskey Friends, and welcome to episode 27 of the Canadian Whisky Journey's Whiskey Review. I'm Dolph, I'll be your host tonight, and I'm joined by Blair Phillips. He is the co-author to the Definitive Guide to Canadian Distilleries. I'm looking for the book, which is usually right beside me, but I've got stuff. That book right there. Right there. So, didn't want to throw everything away. All right, there's the book. Buy the book. Good Christmas present. Blair, we are continuing our Canadian Whisky Journey with what tonight, kind sir?
We are sampling the Strathcona Distillery in your hometown. Their Dreamland Prairie whiskey.
That one right there. And a fine looking bottle it is. Yes, it is. And I've got a couple pictures of this place. So let's get that ready for some people. Let's throw some pictures up here. And we started that. This is a good looking picture of the side. But this is the distillery itself. So I'm going to keep this up as I read the little bit. They describe themselves as distillers of spirits that embody the essence of Alberta by using locally farmed and foraged grains and botanicals. Our tiny boomtown building is the heart of Strathcona, is the smallest distillery in North America. And I'm not sure if it's true, but here's a picture. You be the judge. It seems kind of small. There's one in Canmore that I think is Raw Distillery. I think is smaller than this. Or maybe not, because when they do that, they're probably talking about height too, so cubic feet. Because if they go by area, Raw's smaller, but it's quite a bit taller. So maybe
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're getting away with it somehow. But anyways, so you guys be the judge. That's it. But they have some fantastic pictures. And this was one of them. Can you recognize some of those botanicals in there? Blair?
I'm gonna guess that this is their. They have that Badlands gin. So that's probably some sea berries. I'm gonna guess some juniper and some other stuff.
Okay. It looks good. It's just a really interesting look to it.
Yeah, that's it. If that is that gin, it's really good. It has a really good spicy backbone to it.
Okay. Maybe that'll be a future gin. Maybe they need to make a Christmas gin. We can do that around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Them and Eau Claire is someone else. So, and here's what they look like as well online. So check them out online. It's fantastic. So, they do describe this as a frontier style Canadian wheat whiskey. What do you think that means? A frontier style wheat whiskey? Do you think they mean like a little bit hot, a little bit raw, a little bit? I'm not sure what to say about that.
Frontier. I don't know because if you think of like traditional wheat whiskeys having that reputation of being like soft bodied and stuff like that, I don't think that really falls into that category because of that new oak influence that's really, really dominant.
It is.
It's a really cool bottle, by the way. I think Adam, the owner, is really into the art scene in Edmonton and abroad, and all of his bottles have some killer illustrations on them.
And they talk about the artist as well. So this artist was, and I've got it on here somewhere, Darren Thomas McGee. So whoever the artists are for the bottles, they generally mention who the artists are. So, and they're right in the hub of our kind of artsy area as well.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it kind of makes sense with it. Quick information before we do any tasting notes. So it's their very first release of whiskey. They've had spirit before, but not whiskey itself. 44 months in various barrels. First one is Virgin American Oak, and like you said, I think that's where we get a lot of that woody flavor to it, and nose. And after that, they give it a hint of rye. So the 111th rule is coming into play with them before they finish it in cognac and Armagnac casks. And I'm getting the sweetness for that as well. But
I don't think adding the rye to it, unless it's under 3 years old, is considered a 9.09% thing. Yeah. I don't know how old the rye is, but if it's a rye whiskey they're adding, it's. I kind of like how it's blended in because I do get a little bit of that grassy clove character, the longer it sits. Like when it sits out for a long time, those notes start to come out.
And I do suggest that you do that because the initial, I didn't like my neck pour out of this at all, and I needed this to settle for a while. And this has been in the glass for probably about an hour, and the flavors are coming out better. And I don't like I don't like putting water in my whiskey when it's really young. Chelsea, who works there as well, sent a little message saying that it refers to the splash of rye with it, so the Western rye. So thank you very much, Chelsea. That's very helpful. So that's good. It's fantastic. It's 46.3%, 750 mils. You can't get it at the distillery anymore. They're sold out there, but there's different places that you can still pick it up in Edmonton at least. And it's around the $80 range. So it's pretty. All right. So what do you get on the nose? You already started, but
the longer it sits out, like these honey maple sugar notes start coming out. Okay. And there's that peppery spice and I do like the young lumber in it.
Okay.
When sitting out like that.
Well, the fresh,
but it's the new oak that it's really nice. Like I'm becoming a big fan of wheat whiskeys or Haitian new oak.
I like wheat whiskeys. Period. I like the mouthfeel. Usually, just soft, not oily. It's a soft feel, and I like that. On the nose, I get. And it said this, I think somewhere I read it. So maybe online, or it might have even been the back of the bottle, but the leather was referred to, and I think of a soft leather, like glove soft leather, not harder. For me, there's something different between
so it's not a baseball mitt. It's a
yes.
So glove.
It's really soft, elegant leather. I don't know. But beyond that, dried plum for me, and either dried plum or the very fat, really light raisins. So I don't know if they're cooking raisins or whatever, but they're very light. They're almost brown instead of a black color. So that is what I get on the nose. So it's a really enjoyable nose, but I think it's an hour. I think it's an hour you want this to sit. When you pour it, you pour a good 1 or 2 ounces, and you work with this for a little while. I'm not going to suggest cocktails because I'd rather have it straight, but maybe you would. Is there a cocktail?
I've been enjoying this straight without.
No cocktail.
Don't even put water. I personally think the proof is where it's supposed to be, in my opinion.
Good. And Palate, as soon as I tasted this, there was a very specific flavor I got from it, and I'll let you go because mine's just sticking in my mind, so I'm not going to change it. What do you get?
I do get the vanilla, and a ton of wood. It's a little bit hot, but I think that's expected.
44 months, so it's almost 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the 3 different woods. For me, I think it's caramel macchiato. So you've been to Starbucks, you have a caramel macchiato. You're just smelling it. You smell the foam on top and the caramel. That's what I get on the nose, but mostly with the first flavor, the first taste. That's what I got. So it made me think of it right away. I'm going to give some to my wife so she can try it.
I do find it's kind of cool that they did finish it in Armagnac cask as well, or a combination, I guess, of cognac and Armagnac. Because Armagnac is, I find it to be a really full brandy. So I'm wondering if that elevates us a little bit.
And I do like it in Armagnac, and I'm just starting. In the SMWS, these guys right up here started making Armagnacs as well, and I bought a couple. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And plum. The plum is just sitting.
I love the nose on this whiskey.
Okay. And finish, I'm going to say medium short, but it starts with the caramel sweetness with me. And where does it go for you?
I start to taste that cooked wheat, kind of like almost like a cereal note, and then there's the oak tannins and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Some dry lumber. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot.
Dried lumber in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
you're not
drying
getting-
tannins to the side, it comes there, but it's a sweetness with the drying feeling. That's a good combination.
Yeah, it starts sweets, finishes dry. It's classic profile.
Okay. All right. And they have a new one that's just come out. So the Oloroso. So that'll be their second. And I haven't looked into it at all. So that's something we're going to have to look at. So I'm going to assume it's 12 months older than the 44. So 56 months as opposed to 44. Or maybe not. Who knows? We'll find out, because this is what we're concentrating on today. It was lovely. You should buy it if you get the chance. And any other comments? Closing comments?
Yeah, I think it's a good inaugural release for a distillery. It's young whiskey, so don't expect a 21-year-old Macallan, but it's quite nice.
Love these descriptions. Thanks, Chelsea. Yes, and you should always know what to expect from your whiskey. This is a younger whiskey, but it does grow on you. And the next
definitely.
give it some time.
Yeah.
All right. I'll get you a bottle of the Oloroso. Thank you, Chelsea. We'll try that out, both of us together. Couple weeks, 3 weeks.
Right on.
All right. Let's have a fantastic night. Cheers to everybody. Sláinte.
Cheers.
And have a great week. Bye now.